what's very special about Palestine, first time in history of Jewish identity, Judaism is abused to justify criminal behavior. That's the only special thing. For the first time of 4,000 years of Jewish evolution on this planet, Jewish faith was abused to justify criminal behavior. That's the only special thing. But for the rest, it's the same outline. If you want to create a Jewish homeland on the land of Palestine, you need human resources. You need Jewish people. The state of Israel, the self-identified Jewish state, has no definition for who's Jewish and who's not. Do you know why? Because it's selective. I have many friends who are born to Jewish families who are denied entry to Palestine by the state of Israel. Why? Because they are the wrong Jews. They believe in things like equality. They believe that thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. And they see their identity being violated on the land of Palestine. So if you are a Jewish person who believes in equality, who believes that everyone is born free and equal, then you are the wrong person for the state of Israel. If you don't care about it, if you have tolerance to it, if you want to support it, you are welcome. But if you stand against the brutality that's being brought upon the Palestinian people, then you are the wrong person. And they have a definition for you. Like, they define you as a self-hating person. If you recognize the criminal behavior that Palestinians have to survive, then they diagnose you with this psychological, dysfunction as a self-hater. And I think that's genius. Because the people who diagnose others of self-hate are not qualified psychologists, yet they would define you as such. That part in particular, the State of Israel, its allies, its supporters, defenders, and so on, pour so much resources into bribing people who are born to Jewish families to come and live in Palestine permanently, because they are in need for human resources. The director of the Jewish National Fund back in 1936, he said the following: "It must be clear that there's no room in the country for both peoples." Imagine, like, all the people who lived in Palestine were reduced to two, and there is no room for one. If the Arabs, because we don't exist as Palestinians, if the Arabs leave it, the country will become wide and spacious for us. The only solution is the land of Israel. Without Arabs, there is no room here for compromise. There is no way but to transfer the Arabs from here. Transfer, as if you are dealing with goods, things. You transfer them. Transfer the Arabs from here to the neighboring countries, and to transfer all of them, save perhaps a few. Joseph Weiss, who wrote this, was sitting in a room in Palestine while all Palestinians were sitting in their own rooms as well. So what room was he talking about? In Trump's first term, he was saying, like, there's no room in America for people to come from shithole countries, referring to people of a different skin color, brown and black. A week after that statement, he was wondering why Norwegians wouldn't like to come and live in America permanently. So what room is he talking about? I've been to the US, there's a lot of room. We're talking about the room in the racist mind. There's room for some people, there's no room for others because they were born. You know what's confusing also? In the 50s there was no room, 60s no room, 70s no room, 80s no room. In the 90s, the State of Israel found room for nearly 1 million Russians to come and live permanently on the land of Palestine. So what room are they talking about? If you want to turn Palestine into a Jewish-only state, have to displace Palestinians. It's an ongoing process. You have to keep robbing Palestinians of their property. It's an ongoing process. And you have to keep importing human resources, manpower. If you think of what's happening in Palestine outside of this context, you are doomed to confusion, complication, lack of understanding, and disbelief. When people say what's happening in Palestine is unbelievable, I don't blame them. But it doesn't matter whether you believe it or not, because here we're not talking about beliefs. Here we're talking about progress and a process. If you are born to a Palestinian family, you are on the oppressed side of this process. If you are born to a Jewish family, you are on the privileged part of this process. But it's an ongoing process. And I was born in the midst of it, and I will probably die through it. Because if things continue to be the way they have been for the past 100 years, we will be squeezed out of existence. And will continue to be squeezed out of existence. Because we are always viewed as a demographic problem.